Hey friends, welcome back, and hello to you new people too. I'm Courtney, and that's Phyrra and Nix, my two standard poodles behind me. They're hanging out in here too. Before I jump into this video, I want to remind you to click on the little subscribe button down below so you never miss out on one of my videos or the cute poodles. Today's video is a personal update. I'm finally going to be able to tell you why I've been getting very little sleep. So I just bought a new home. I signed the papers last Thursday morning. I'm very excited about it. But I want to talk to you about the whole ordeal and process of getting this home because it was a complete emotional roller coaster. So in December, Ray and Dave and I decided that as much as we love this home, because this home is amazing, it's too small for us and we needed to find a larger home for our family. It was really hard to come to this decision because, like I said, we really love this home. It's a courtyard home. It's very unique. The layout and everything of the home, I think it's beautiful. So I was like, it's going to be hard for me to find something that I want to leave and move into, but I know we really need to do this. So we made that decision in December. In January, we started decluttering this house and basically trying to get it ready to show. And also during that time, I started looking at homes to see, what was on the market, if we wanted to buy a home if we wanted to buy an existing home or if we wanted to build a new home. On doing research on what goes into building a home and the amount of stress and how long it takes, it would basically be 10 months of stress. I wasn't really sure that I wanted to do that because I already have anxiety issues and doing what I was doing was stressful enough. So we talked about it, and as much as we liked the idea of building the perfect home, we decided we were probably going to try to see if we could find a home that was already built so we didn't have that stress. So I think towards the end of January, I found the home that I bought and fell in love with it. I took Ray and Dave to see it. They both really liked it. And Ray said, I really, really love this house. I love the view because it has a water view and it's a great location. And so since Dave and I work from home, we don't really necessarily care that much about location, but it really matters for Ray with his commute to and from his office. So when he mapped it, he's like, yeah, that would cut about 50% of my commute time each way. And I'm like, okay, that's a big deal. So I started looking at all of the houses in that neighborhood before I settled on this home. So I started looking at all the houses in the neighborhood and I really liked this one the best. By the way, I hired my friend Lindsay, who's a real estate agent who is amazing. So if you're in Tampa, you should definitely check out Vintage Realty and check out Lindsay because she helped us through this whole crazy process and she is so good at her job. She's amazing at keeping all of the facts straight and giving you all the information that you need. I asked Lindsay to help me, come up with a fair offer because the house that we fell in love with needs a ton of work. It really does. It needs a new roof. It needs new AC. It needs a new water heater. It had a ton of little things that we saw were broken or we thought were broken and cosmetic things and everything. So when I was talking with Lindsay, we looked at comps for the area. And when you're doing comps, which are comparisons to help you come up with a decision on how much to make your bid on a house, you look at houses that have sold within the past 6 months. You're not really supposed to look over a year. You need to make sure that the houses are within I think 10% size-wise, and it needs to be the same type of house. So if you're looking at a waterfront property, which is what we were looking at, it needs to also be a waterfront property. You can't just pull other houses from the neighborhood that are twice the size, that aren't waterfront properties, that really aren't apples to apples. So that's important to know. So anyway, we looked at all this information and I decided to put in a bid that was $435. And so the seller of the home's like, no, that's way too low. And I'm like, well, looking at all the work and everything involved, I'm like, I don't really think that is. But I went ahead and made another bid of $447. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to go look at something else. Go look at other houses. So I did, but it kept kind of setting back in my head. So I went back and reached out again and talked to the seller's real estate agents, and they were like, well, if you make a bid of $462, she might give you she might be willing to sell. And I was like, okay, let's do that because that's still cheaper than building a house, or that's still cheaper than building the house we wanted to build. So we put in this bid. She accepted the bid. And then what I did was I hired the absolute best home inspector that I could find. The reason why is because whenever you are looking to buy a house, you want to find a talented home inspector to find anything that's wrong with the house. So the home inspector that I hired was amazing, and he found 1,000,001 things wrong with this house. And I was like, okay, well, so I took that to go back to the seller and say, hey, you need to lower the price of your house because you have all of these things wrong that I'm going to have to fix. And so the seller decides, well, I'm going to fix some of these things, but not all of these things. So she didn't fix the AC, she didn't fix the roof, she didn't fix the water heater. any of that stuff. She didn't fix the fence. She did fix like some of the things like the sliding glass doors. She fixed the dishwasher. She fixed the showers, stuff like that. But there's a whole list of things that didn't get fixed, and there's a list of things that I was like, well, you should fix these things. But she was like, no. And I made sure and had Lindsay write into my contract that, you know, the price of the house, or what I would buy the house was contingent upon what it appraised for, because there's no way in hell I'm going to buy a house and be underwater. There's no way in hell I'm going to buy a house that didn't, you know, I wasn't going to pay an amount for a house that didn't appraise for a specific value. So went ahead and had the appraisal happen. And if you don't know how appraisals work for houses now, the seller and the buyer, neither one of us picks who the appraiser is. The appraiser is picked by the loan company. And so if you know, it's like, I guess, a random system. So like, you don't even know who it's going to be. So it's supposed to be completely fair, which is good, because when I had when I had this house appraised that I'm still living in right now, but getting ready to move out of, the seller picked the appraiser. So anyway, this whole appraisal thing happened, and the appraiser came up with the amount of $445. So really close to my second bid, and really what, you know, is probably a fair value for the house. And he mentioned, you know, all kinds of things like the comps that the seller's real estate agents used on the house were not accurate, and this, that, and the other, the age of the house, the fact that it needs a new roof, new AC, new all this other stuff. So he was like, this is the value of the house. And the seller and her real estate agents were stunned. They were really upset. And, you know, I'm not even going into all of the other like inspectors that I had come to check out this house, just to make sure that I wasn't buying a house with any like hidden problems, because I was afraid of that happening. So basically we told the seller that, you know, we're not going to buy it for that amount. We'll buy it for the amount it appraised for, which is $445. And the seller's like, no. And I said, okay. I went on to go look at new houses with Lindsay, because I'm like, look, the seller's being unreasonable. As much as I love that house, as much as the location is perfect for me, I'm just going to have to move on, because I'm not going to be upside down on a new house. I'm not going to buy a house that doesn't, you know, I'm not going to pay more for a house than what it appraises for. It just doesn't make sense. So Lindsay and I went on to look at new houses. I found another house that was perfect for us, that had a huge backyard, that had the perfect floor, like we went like a 3-way split floor plan layout, and like it was perfect. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it had a pool. But even then, the pool was a saltwater pool, and it wasn't like in the way, so it wasn't really that much of an inconvenience to have another pool. And so I was looking at that house, and in the time that I was looking at that house, the seller of that house dropped the price down. It was like at $460, dropped it down to $450. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's a little bit of wiggle room. And we were checking that one out and realizing, well, it's another house that needs to have its roof replaced and AC replaced, which, you know, if you've never done that, that's, at least for me, I replaced the roof and the AC on my current house last year, and that was about $40,000. So it's not cheap. That's a lot of money. So I was like, crap, you know, not something I want to have to do when I first buy a house. Anyway, while I was looking at that house and thinking about putting an offer in on that, the seller of the first house, the house that I ended up buying, came back and said, well, aren't you going to come back and buy? And we said, no. Well, what if we offered it to you for $450? And I said, no. What about $447? No. $445 is all I was willing to do, because I said, I'm done. I'm going to put an offer on another house. I'm done with your like mind games and bullshit, because I'm giving you a really I'm giving you really like a condensed version of the story, because this is why I was so stressed. And this was going on, you know, all through the month of February and part of the month of March. And so anyway, finally the seller goes, okay, $445. And I guess to get to that number, she made her real estate agents, who gave her incorrect information about what her house should be priced at, made them make up the difference in their commission. So finally, we were able to agree on the price of $445, and I was able to close on my house, and I was able to sign the paperwork and buy my house last Thursday, which I'm thrilled about. And so I have a whole walkthrough for you of the new house, because I thought you would want to see it. And yes, I have a lot of things that I have to fix in the new house. I will have to put a new roof in within the next 5 years, probably sooner than that. I'm going to have to put a new AC unit in probably within the next 6 months, because the one that's there is on its last legs. The water heater might last a year, but I love the house. We're pretty happy with it. We've been fixing things up around the house. We've fixed some of the problems with like some of the like shower heads were like spraying water, so they just needed some plumber's tape. We fixed the outdoor fireplace because the fireplace wasn't working. My friend Mark came over today, and we fixed all of the problems with the fence, because I guess the previous owner of the house just didn't do any sort of maintenance at all in the house. Like, she didn't fix any problems in the house. She had the house for 2 years and thought she was going to flip it for a ton of money. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the walkthrough so you can check it out. This is the front door, which is red, and hopefully I'm going to change it to purple. I've got to fill out 3 forms with the HOA to see if they will approve me having a purple door. So when you first walk in, obviously you're in the entryway, and if you turn to your right, this is my husband Ray's office. It's like about an 11 by 14 room, and this is where he's going to set up his music room slash his, I guess he's going to have some of his brewing equipment in here too because he homebrews beer. So after we walk past Ray's office, we have like this cute little art niche, and then we have a formal living room. And over here is our formal dining room, and I'm really looking forward to putting my table here so we can play D&D. It has a really cool reverse tray ceiling. I've never seen this feature in any other house, so I think it's really neat. And it's painted like a dark midnight blue, and I'm probably gonna look up, I wanna change it to purple, and I'm probably gonna look up how to do like purple glitter because I think it might be neat just to have like the one wall and the reverse tray ceiling done with the purple glitter. And next we're walking into the master bedroom, which is the bedroom that I share with Ray. It has a tray ceiling too, and I just had it painted my favorite color of gray. And back here on the way towards the master bathroom, we have these awesome his and her closets. I love the closets in this house. This is Ray's closet. We've only moved a little bit of clothes in so far. And this is my closet, which is a lot bigger. Not gonna lie, one of the reasons I really wanted this house was for this closets. And this is the master bathroom. It has a sink to the right for Ray and a sink to the left for me. I had it painted my favorite color, my favorite teal blue, so it'd be nice and bright and cheery. It reminds my friend Corinne of going to the beach. It has a nice little tub to soak in and a shower. At some point I'm gonna change the shower to a walk-in shower because I really hate dealing with the glass. The dogs like to bang on the glass door. This is the thinking room, also known as the toilet. So as we walk through the formal living room, which will probably have the dog crate, we go into the kitchen. And we have a nice pantry back here with pull-out shelves. And this is our living room with the amazing view that made Ray fall in love with the house. This view is really what made Ray say we have to buy this house. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my little sneak peeks on Instagram stories. You can come out here and just see this beautiful lake. It's like a 90-acre lake. And of course there are gators in it because it's Florida, but you know, whatever. I've seen a lot of ravens and some birds of prey. They just kind of perch on the fence. And once it warms up a little bit, I'm sure I will see alligators. It's just such a peaceful, relaxing view. So this is my little wing of the house, and it has a linen closet back here and a guest bathroom that's a pretty good sized bathroom. It has a door to the backyard so I can let the dogs in and out through the door while I'm working. So this is my office. It's the smallest room in the house. Seems to be a trend. I'm probably going to try and build either some makeup storage into the closet or maybe like a queen size Murphy bed into the closet. Another shot of the dining room. I can't wait until I can change all the light fixtures. Not that they look bad, they're actually okay, they're silver toned, but I'll be changing out all the lights for my hue lights. And here we have the laundry room. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's still not bad. It's about, I would say, the same size as our old laundry room. It just has more storage. And this is Dave's office. And this is like open space that I don't know what we'll put here. Maybe some storage, I'm not sure. Dave's linen closet and his bathroom. He'll probably change this out for just a shower because he doesn't really like a bath. This bathroom right now has the tiniest toilet in the world. I'm not very big, I'm like 5'4", and I felt like this was the smallest toilet I've ever used. I felt like I was too big for this toilet. It is so small. And this is Dave's bedroom. He's got a really nice closet back here as well. I really love the built-in shelving for the closets. And I'm gonna walk back through the house and take you outside. There's Ray. Hi, Ray. And this is our lanai. This is the outdoor fireplace, which is awesome. It runs off of gas. And I think the owners, before the ones I bought this house from, probably had a hot tub in this outdoor area, but I really like the space. I like that it's like a nice, good sized screened in area, because we do enjoy sitting outside at night when it's screened in, so we don't have to be eaten alive by the mosquitoes. I'll go ahead and take you out to the yard. The dogs are gonna go crazy over this yard because they haven't been in it yet, but I cannot wait to see them run around for the first time. I've got to fix all of the screens in the lanai there because it's ripped. It's like the previous owner didn't do anything to keep it in shape, so it looks like it's been shredded in places by dogs or by a cat. Ray and Dave and I just love it out here. It's so beautiful and peaceful. I am very much a water person. If you asked me to pick one element that I love the most, it would be water. I always loved the beach and listening to the waves crash and just listening to water. I find it very relaxing, very soothing, great for my anxiety. I plan on buying some kayaks so I can kayak on the water for exercise. And here's a shot of the back of my house. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the tour of my new home. I'm really excited about it. Still gotta sell my old home. I'm gonna be moving into my new home on Tuesday. So if things seem like they're a little bit disorganized and crazy for a while, that's why, because I've been trying to deal with packing and getting things ready for my move and getting things like organized, put away, put into my storage units. Yeah, just so much. Plus I have to, keep up with my job. That's what's been going on with me, trying to buy a new home, which took like 3 months, working on selling my current home, getting everything like getting things like fixed up and moved around. I'm so looking forward to moving into my new house, but things may be crazy until I get everything moved in. And then I have to like figure out how to set up my lights. I think I would like to really have my lights and everything like coming down from the ceiling or from the wall so that I can have less of my floor space taken up by lights, because right now I think about 1/3 of my room is taken up with lights. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing what's going on with my life. Please be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you in my next video.